Full Circle Farm, here we come. Chickens in the road. The rooster's running back and forth. Come on, buddy, come on. Looks like there's houses over there. Look at that. They got an eggmobile here. This one's going on quite the jog. Just go over, get off the road a little bit, honey, and we'll go right past. There you go. Hey, y'all. How's it going?
Good.
Good. I'm Justin.
I'm Dennis.
Yes, nice to meet you.
Felicia.
Nice to meet you.
And our interning couple, Josh and Murphy. This is 60 acres of lease land that we've had for about 6 or 7 years. And the owner has just decided to come in and thin the forest. So instead of clear cutting, we were able to convince him to leave about 15% of the trees. So it's a lot of shade.
Nice. You look happy.
So we just moved the pigs from that side of that string to over here. And we move them about once a week in an effort to keep them off of their pathogens and parasites. We keep moving them through the forest. The enemy of the pig is heat, so they don't sweat and they don't pant, so the forest is really a good place for the pig. They clear the land. They like this piece of land, we couldn't see through this forest here to the other side just 5 years ago, so we're clearing and preparing pasture with the pigs.
How'd you move the feeder?
So when the move is imminent, we let the feeder get empty. We only put enough of feed in to feed them in that paddock. So then the feeder is empty, we just lay it on its side, roll it on the ground to the new spot, set it up and put feed in, and then we let the pigs in.
Hey, what's your name?
My name's Ben. Yeah.
What's your role here?
I'm the pork manager, and I move the pigs once a week and make sure they get water and feed.
How do you get these pigs to obey this one little strand of electric wire?
It's a psychological barrier, so when they're little, they learn from electric netting that we have. And then as they get older, we can just put 1 or 2 strands and they'll test it with their nose and they'll get shocked and they realize, well, I don't want to mess with that. And so it's more of a psychological than a physical barrier. So
they don't need a mud pit?
Nope, no mud pit.
Is that just a myth?
Well, they like that. I mean, again, a pig cannot pant and they do not sweat. They don't pant, they don't sweat. So how do they dissipate heat? They dissipate heat by making body contact with the ground, just like that. So that's how they, you know, and so that's good enough. Now in summertime, they really do enjoy a mud pit. They really do, and it's natural for them to have them. And when it rains or whatever, we give them mud pits sometimes, but then it's usually just the day before we move because they can become a pathogen pit.
What breed is this?
Oh, we don't care about breed. This I think is some old spots, or some old spots at least part, but we don't care about breed. We're like Joel South, and breed is immaterial. We're just looking for the classic 1950s hog. You know, the old style body type, phenotype. Okay. We don't look for...
Why is that better?
Oh, the modern hog is bred for confinement feeding.
Yeah.
And this is a hog that can survive in the wild.
Okay. There's
a big difference. Big difference. Huge. That is a happy pig right there.
I'm not going to take your spot.
And in this whole tilled area here, we can just throw some seeds down, they'll come up. We have real good luck with iron clay pea here, and it grows up and plants itself for the following year even.
They're using the pigs to help clear. You can see here, they've tilled this up, they're going to plant the seeds, and the pigs move out, and eventually this is going to be a pasture for their main operation, the dairy cow.
Alright, so what Ben's doing here is spilling the water just like we spill the feed. We have to empty this whole thing.
Where's your water coming from?
Well, there's a water line, comes all the way from the well at the house, and it runs up along the fence line there and across the road and in here. And then we have these quick couplers here, back here at the fence, runs all the way along the fence line, so he'll just go up and find the next quick coupler and plug in.
These feeders are nice and big so that a large hog can't tip it over. So it's about 100 gallons. And so they can jostle with it and get their head in there, but this is all stays full of water from the float valve, so they can't knock it over like a smaller waterer would. And they get some dirt and sand in there, so it's good every time I move it to flush it out, and that will clean out the dirt that's in there.
Ben, how do you know how big of a paddock to give?
You just kind of gauge based on the size of the pig. You give them a certain amount of feed so that it's an art. It's not as much a science. So if there's a lot of growth and you want to till it up a lot, then you give them more time, and it's based on the season as well. Joel Salatin does about a ½ acre for 50 pigs, and that gives them about a week. But we have different soil, so it's kind of an art.
They will dig. I mean, they're like a chicken. If you put them in a very small space, they'll dig. Larger space, they'll get more food off the land, be able to roam more, they're happier. You know, they're more spacious, they feel like they're freer from their, other pigs and all, have more space, so.
Another thing is if it starts to smell, it's time to move. 12 days max for parasite life cycle, so no matter how few pigs you have, you want to move them at least once every 12 days to fresh ground, regardless of how big that ground is.
They start these guys out on pasture for a month or two, and then they get them into a trailer with food, and they move them to the forest. And every time in the forest that they move them, it's one paddock over. And then, when it's the end, they get the trailer out again, get food in it, and they can get the pigs in and take them to the butcher. If you don't have a trailer, you just time it and plan it ahead of time that you're running them from paddock to paddock. Wow. And then you could borrow a trailer on butcher day or butcher them yourself, especially if you're a homesteader and you're just doing one or two.
So you can see how thick that is.
That was forest before they've come through with anything. That's unprepared forest. And that's a cow on the road. What are the cows eating on in there, Dennis?
Leaves and vines. There's a smilax vine that comes down when they take the trees down.
Yeah.
The cows love the smilax vine. It's like honey or something. They eat it like candy.
We're heading out to put up the chickens that are in the eggmobile and move the eggmobile. Is that right?
Yeah.
Are you the one in charge of the chickens?
Yep.
Are you in charge or are they your chickens?
They're mine.
Cool. How long have they been your chickens? How old are you?
12.
What's this?
The kitchen flops.
Nice. Who's this?
River is the chicken guard dog, and she is bonded with these birds, and she guards them with her life.
Oh, they see her coming. What is your name?
Caroline.
Caroline, how much money do you make on these chickens?
I make $5 a dozen.
Woo! I asked Dennis how much he thought it was costing every day, and he said they feed about a half a bag. They have a non-GMO feed source here. Half a bag is about $10. So they're doing pretty good, getting $20 in sales and it costing $10. We're about to go get the morning milk.
Come on.
How many are you milking?
Give or take about 30. I think right now we're doing about 27. Nice.
Yeah. Thanks for that.
It seems like they all wait to pee until we come to bring them in for milking, so it takes twice as long to get them in.
What's in the bucket for feed?
Well, we've been feeding sunflower seed meal for protein during the winter. The grass here is a invasive grass and it dies during the winter, so we need to supplement protein.
We got rye planted, but it's just not quite ready yet. They can't graze it all day, so
What are you doing over here?
I'm setting up the cream separator. I'm gonna make cream and then we're gonna save some skim to make cottage cheese. And then the rest of it will go to the pigs.
This is Belle, the one he was talking about. She's a family cow and she's really sweet.
Good morning, Belle.
So they'll get 1 scoop of the sunflower seed meal and then they'll get a scoop of apple cider vinegar. I love it.
Come on, Belle. Black, wait. Or not.
Why do you call that one black?
She's half Black Angus, and the girls have a million names for her. Black Velvet, Black Beauty.
Does a half Angus give you good milk?
Yeah, she gives almost 2 gallons a day.
Whoa!
So.
What's the average yield from each cow?
They all vary, but we get mostly a gallon a day. We only milk them once.
Milking them once a day.
Yeah, we only milk them once, and in the morning, and after they go to the pasture and they're reunited with their babies.
You are a pretty cow. Who knew? Angus and a Jersey, great milking cow. Good morning, Daniel. You come out here for a job?
No.
You come out here looking for my boys to play?
No.
What did you come out here for?
I wanted to watch.
Oh. I think you came out here for the cream. Yeah, a minute. Woo! A beautiful American milking Devon.
So first we'll filter it.
One of the challenges we face is fly control and what to do with these flies. And they're really the worst in the spring of the year before the spiders come out. You have to do something, or it seems like it sometimes, because flies really are an issue with cows. Wherever you have cows, you're gonna have flies. So this machine here is like a giant shop vac that as the cows walk through here, the flies get vacuumed right off of the cow's back. And the flies go up in here and then they come down and they actually sit in this bag here and they dehydrate and die. And
what do you do with the flies then?
And then we feed them to the chickens. This is a mineral feeder and the cows can choose what minerals they need. There's 3 different types of trace minerals. There's phosphorus, calcium, magnesium, sulfur, loose unrefined salt. Over here there's kelp, and there's just sodium. I don't even remember what all these are, but I try to keep them filled.
Another cool thing about this system is if they're not getting the minerals off the land, they're getting the minerals out of this box, but it's going through their body and out and remineralizing the soil.
Right.
Putting in this cream separator. Oh, there comes the skim. Where's the cream? That's what we all want to know.
Yeah.
Oh, cream's coming out the back. You're an intern who's about done, is that right?
Yeah, we'll be done in 6 days.
So how valuable would you say this was for you and your wife?
Absolutely priceless. We've read a lot of books. We've watched the Salatin semester about a half dozen times, but it's really helpful to get some hands-on experience. You just can't get it anywhere else but on a farm.
Step number 1, bring in a couple of cows. Step number 2, finagle the stubborn cow into the stanchion. Lock the brace. Wash off the teats. You'll notice they're nice and clean because these cows are on pasture all night. Stella, you're showing us how it's done this morning, girl. Connect your milk machines.
I put the milk stuff together.
There you go. Milk going through that already?
Yep.
Did you turn on the vacuum there?
This makes from here, this is the pulsator, and it brings it down here, and then it pulses back and forth.
Okay. She's got a pulsator here. She she turns it on there at the end so it can start having a suction or pump. And she puts those on. How do they know when it's their turn?
They just come in whenever they want. We don't do it in order,
okay.
But yeah, they just come in.
So it's not always in the same order.
No.
But they do know to go 2 by 2,
yeah.
don't they?
Okay.
Are you holding that for a reason?
Yes, I'm just pushing down so it'll help to go a little faster.
The cow's almost done, and the way you know is you can tell that the udder gets empty, and you can see those lines there, the wrinkles.
Yeah. And you can see up here this white tube.
Yeah.
This way. And you can see that she's not giving barely as much.
Yeah, there's no more milk going through the tube. So you release the valve down there?
Yeah, see, I can just pull this and then I can push it back on. But what I do...
Go ahead and pull it again. There you go.
And then I just
okay, I get it.
And pull it a little bit more.
Do you know how to milk by hand?
Yes, I do. Because we have goats and I help do that. And it's pretty much the same.
Next step, she shut off the main herd back there. Release the bar. Look at that. They're in such a habit, they know. Let's see where she goes. And then she's gonna hang out right here with all you others. You guys ready to go? You looking pretty ready to go. All right, let's see her open this up. Next. Stella makes that look easy. You guys fill this up with the pump. You're pouring this in here. This is a cream separator.
Well, this says that's just a filter and a bucket to hold it for now.
You got the filter and the bucket to hold it. So it's filtering out any dirt or scum or anything like that. If you were making milk, all you'd have to do is filter this and it would come out this spigot right here. But we're making cream, so we're gonna run it through the cream filter. He's got ice cream on his mind. We're gonna do an ice cream party here in a couple of days. Let's talk about the milk machine for a second. Not necessary, maybe for 3 or less cows. I had 2 cows, I had 2 milking cows, and we bought the milk machine. We didn't know. And I had been hand milking before that, bought the milk machine, and we're like, it's more trouble to do the milk machine at this point. So you would only want to do it if you got several cows. Business up front, party in the back. This is like a mullet machine right here. What's a good use for that skim milk now?
Pigs.
Gonna go to the pigs, they'll love it.
Skim milk fattens pigs like nothing. Fattens people like nothing too, but they don't know that. And especially in the store, it's they put non-fat dry milk into skim milk, and that's a recipe for heart disease because the dried milk is oxidized, completely oxidized. So that's a complete recipe for heart disease. Skim milk is the worst thing you could ever eat because without the fat, your body cannot use the protein, cannot digest and utilize the protein or the minerals in the milk. So skim milk is bad news. We do not sell skim milk at all.
After milking, he puts them back out into the pasture. But he rotates the pasture every day, right?
Yep.
So now, they just so happen to be right by the milk parlor. You guys got to remember it is winter here, so the grass is not jamming. And they haven't had rain in what, 3 months, Dennis?
Well, about a month now, but we had a 9-week drought in the fall when I was trying to get my winter grasses to come up. So
everybody's a little thin coming into the end of the winter. But dairy cows naturally have a thin build. These guys will bulk back up, but not much. We're only talking like 20 pounds or so as spring comes and the grass begins to jam again. These calves had been pinned away from their mama. Dennis has told Dan to let down this gate. There you go, Dan, good job. So now the calves could go back to their mama. See that one with the ring? See that ring in its nose? That's a weaning ring. He does put that on at about 8 or 9 months old, so eventually he does wean them. They can still be with the mama, but they won't nurse. the imprint on this new baby filly. What I mean by imprinting is they're just basically getting the filly very used to them. Spending a lot of time interacting with them when they're first born. So they're tying up the mama. Hey guys, you have to wear shoes to imprint.
No, you don't.
I saw Stella wearing shoes this morning. I was shocked. What's up with that? Why were you wearing shoes? Milk of the cow.
My feet to get poopy, and then I have to go inside.
So you do draw the line somewhere. Okay.
I do.
She's naturally resistant of you guys, but you're gonna change that.
Well, she's actually much calmer now that we've done the imprinting twice.
Okay.
But we're gonna do it 2 more times, and it'll just get her a lot calmer.
Do you have a program you go through?
Yeah.
There, she let you put it on.
Not really.
They've got to lay her down. Look at those long legs on that thing.
So which way are we going? There you go.
Don't let it go.
Look, it draws a crowd. Dennis is even bringing out seats.
There we go.
There we go. Farm Fresh Entertainment over here, guys.
Right.
So you're going back and forth on purpose?
Yeah, we do it 50 times, and at any time if she struggles, we go back to 1.
Wow.
She really doesn't like her nose touched.
And that just gets her used to getting her nose touched. So now you just had to start over. Is this part of the program too? Really rubbing on the ears?
Yeah, we just rub her all over the place.
Oh. She seems to really like this, man. Look at this. Look at this. You're jumping right into this.
It was pretty hard the first time, but she's gotten a lot better.
She'll lay him back, bud. Thanks, ladies. You're doing a good job. Moving the electric fence out of the way. Look, Mr. Brown, look how everybody's grown. You're a really good guard dog, they said. She won't bite you. She won't bite you. She's nice to the humans. Oh, they're shooing the chickens out, Brian. Let's get out of the way. Uh-oh. We just got them out and they all went back around and back in. I've offered to help them herd. And as soon as we get the chickens out, the other girl can drive off before they get a chance to move back in. Come on. There it goes. Look at him chase it, Brown. Look at him chasing it, buddy. Oh, look at them running to get back. They're running to get back in here, buddy. In no time, they've moved these guys to fresh grass. The chickens love it because they can get up to 20% of their diet from the land. And the ground loves it because it gets all this fertilizer. We've got the chicks on new feed. They're as happy as can be.
Come on, cows.
They listen about like children.
Come on. Come on, cows. Come on. Come on, Belle. Come on, you gotta lead. Keep going. I didn't call you to this. You know there's hay back there. Go get it. Come on.
He's letting the mamas through. Separating out any calves that made it this far. Oh, that one smoked me. Essentially, he just let the big mamas through, blocked the little guys from going in, and he's going to get them some hay. And that way the moms will build up milk and they can harvest it in the morning. There's the hay.
There's a little hay for you.
There you guys go. You calves got it made, you know that, right? Most dairy farmers pulling their calf. I don't even know if the calves ever get anything. So you are a healthy bunch there. The cows are coming in to be milked. What kind of feed is that?
Barley, bran, and chaff hay.
And who are these guys?
Bama and Amber.
This is your operation?
Yeah,
How old are you?
15.
Oh my word, really? They have the most beautiful sunrises and sunsets here. How many goats do you have?
13.
What breed are they?
Toggenburg and Oberhasli, and she's a La Mancha because she doesn't have any ears. And the white ones are Kiko.
I see you have the guard dogs out here for the goats. What would get a goat?
Coyotes.
Your dad was telling me that worms can be pretty bad on goats in Florida. Can you tell me what you do to prevent worms?
We put copper in the water that soaks the barley.
Nice, and that's all you gotta do. And that does it.
Yep.
No worms. And everybody else is using, what was it? What's the other way? Conventional way.
Chemicals.
Everybody else is using chemicals. All it takes is a little bit of copper. Where did you learn that?
From Pat Colby. She wrote a book called Natural Goat Care.
How many do you milk?
4.
What do you do with the milk?
Sell it and make kefir and cheese out of it.
How much do you sell the milk for?
7 a quart, 13.5 gallon, and 24 a gallon.
And how many quarts will you get from your 4 goats today?
Probably a little over a gallon.
That's $28. How much will you sell it as kefir?
8 a quart.
Woo! And do you make yogurt?
Yeah, every once in a while.
How much does that go for?
$8.
Do you like this job? What do you like about it?
Making my own money for sure, and being able to do what I want with it.
So what do you do with your own money?
Well,
What's your dream? Where does that money end up going?
to horses.
How do you get the goat kids to not drink this milk all night long?
Well, I only have 3 right now. All the others were sold, so she doesn't have any babies on her.
Oh, okay.
The ones that do, the babies just take all the milk, or we can pen them away from their moms at night and
Okay.
milk the moms in the morning and then let the kids have the milk.
What age do you sell the kids?
Any age.
Okay. Is that what happens to the males too? People buy those? Okay.
People who buy them have to bottle feed them.
Do you make the money off the sale of the goats too? How much does one kid go for?
Anywhere from 100 to 200.
So let's say they had twins and you make a couple of $100. What will a couple of $100 get you in the horse world?
Like tack or whatever.
Did you buy anything this year?
A lot.
What did you buy this year for your horses?
Well, we're just about to place an order at Down Under Horsemanship for a bunch of training DVDs
Cool.
and some tack.
Do you ever get nervous about their horns?
No.
Are you ever tempted just to grab them by the horns
Yeah.
and get them to do something? Does that work for you?
Yeah, it does. They lead pretty good.
What do you do with the bulls?
The bulls. We have 2 breeding seasons. We leave the bull in for a month or 2 each time. We breed cows for January 1st calving and about April, May calving. And the reason we do that is to keep milk flowing year round. So we keep the bulls out except for breeding for those times. And the reason we're breeding for those times is that's when we're maximizing the grass
What have you planted in between, in the middle of the field?
This is winter rye. It's Renzabruzzi rye. It's a cereal rye. We plant this every year. It grows and works very well.
What trees did you plant and why?
Oh, we planted about 3,000 trees since we've gotten here in the last 10 years. These 1,500 trees were given to us by the National Wild Turkey Federation. And they are 5 different kinds of oaks and a wild persimmon, and we planted them in rows so that we could fence them out in the first few years so the cows don't damage them.
What are these beautiful trees behind you?
Those beautiful trees are native oaks that have been here for a couple hundred years.
And this one? That's an oak too?
Same thing, yes. And when Joel Salatin was here, he just looked at them and he said, boy, that's an institution. And he said he would like to sit down and hear the stories that tree has to tell. I would too. I'd like to join him in that. There's just a lot of reason for trees. Shelter, shade, food.
Are you moving them from here to here?
Yep.
Yeah, we are.
How long were they right here?
They've been here for probably 2 days. We were moving them every 3 days, but now we've been moving them like 1 to 2 days because they've been rooting up more, and we don't want to disturb the pasture too much, so we're gonna move them frequently.
We're gonna take some of this feed and mix in some skim milk, which is just a byproduct of our cream making. So instead of throwing it away, we feed the pigs with it. It gives them a lot of protein.
That looks like aged skim milk.
Yeah, we call it Florida cheese. And since we don't have the paddle, I'm just gonna have to mix it by hand.
Come on, pig. Come on, pig. Come on, pig.
Come on, guys. Come on.
Come on, pig.
Are they laying birds or are they meat birds?
They're meat birds.
How many are there?
200. 198 now, though.
You only lost 2?
Yeah, something like that.
What? You got a 99% success rate. You guys must use a lot of drugs on them.
Just apple cider vinegar, right?
I'm teasing them. This is like one of the purest farms I've ever been to. Where are you taking these guys?
We're gonna take them right out here to the pasture. We're gonna go through the garden here, and we've got a hoop house and poultry netting set up already. We got their food and water out already, and now we just gotta bring the chicks out. I'm Josh, I'm one of the interns, and this is my wife Murphy. She's interning with us also.
Oh, what a great place to live, chicks. Look, it's your first time on grass.
Yeah.
Look at that, Mr. Brown. You see that, chick? Isn't that fun? You like that? Yeah, they put out some water for them. They put out water, and they put out feed, and they got lots of grass to eat. These chicks are 2 weeks old, Cornish cross. They've moved them from the brooder out here into the shade. I guess you would call this a shade mobile.
Yep.
They'll stay nice and cool. They'll move them more often as they get older, but they'll move them when they need to after they've worn out the grass. Everything around here is mobile, which is a very good thing. They've got an electric poultry net. I'm pretty sure those chicks could get through that, but from experience, I know they're not gonna move too far from this. A few might get through. It's probably more to keep the coyotes and any other predators out.
Yeah.
They're more interested in the new grass than they are the feed. Good for you guys. And it is so loud. They're just screaming, thank you, thank you, thank you. Green grass, sunshine, fresh air.